Alright, what is up YouTube gang? It's your boy FridayRandomMedia, and I'm back with Season 2, Episode 3 of our Versus Battle series here on YouTube. We're taking two different characters from two different fictional universes, putting them head to head, reviewing the results, and declaring a winner. So, yeah, we're back in it, once again. This season's theme, of course, is villains and anti-heroes. You can go in the Versus Battle series Season 2 playlist on my channel to check the rest of the battles out. But today, we are going with two daring and dangerous anti-heroes. The Chosen One, the Strange One, Ash Williams of the Evil Dead, Army of Darkness universe, versus the Black Swordsman, the Struggler, Guts of the Berserk universe. Now, both of these characters are actually quite similar in some ways, both losing all their closest friends, even their loved ones, to supernatural and demonic forces. Both sacrificed a hand in the process of thwarting these damn demons, and both seem to have stories that remain unfinished to this very day. The rules of this video are simple as always. We'll go over 5 categories for each character: the strength category, attack power durability category, combat speed category, battle IQ, and the last category, powers, hacks, abilities, and gear, all lumped together. So, when that's all wrapped up and we go over both characters, I'll give a play-by-play analysis of how I see the battle going down exactly. So, let's get into it. Alrighty, so starting with our first character, Guts, the Struggler. And beginning with, of course, category number 1, strength. Guts' raw power. Guts is quote-unquote just a human, but he's very obviously built different, as he's able to block and withstand some of Zod's attacks, who no man has ever posed a threat to, along with, several other supernatural beings, superpowered beings. The elephant in the room is very clearly the dragonslayer, which is Guts' sword, the massive slab of iron weighing anywhere between 400 to 800 pounds. It's never been actually said, I don't think, how much it really weighs, but that's kind of the estimations. Swinging, carrying, throwing that sword, Guts would need some extreme strength to casually use such a weapon that he used, pretty much all his life. So that's going to wrap it up for Guts' strength. Moving on to category number 2, attack power and durability. First off, Guts' hand-to-hand attack power is quite impressive, able to one-shot kill human foes with a punch, able to punch through stone in some instances. When it comes to Guts' swordsmanship, he regularly slashes through 2, 3, 4, or even more enemies in a single swing with his sword, and that includes their weapons, shields, armor, the whole thing. Guts cuts through human foes, demons, or apostles, even cutting through stone and steel, as I said before. Guts' arm cannon is also able to one-shot apostles, and the crossbow attachment is able to do the same thing in a more rapid manner, although both weapons do have their drawbacks, and I'll talk about that later. As far as Guts' durability goes, Guts is constantly tanking several arrows in numerous instances, as well as being stabbed, cut, all sorts of damage by swords, and he still continues to fight on. Even more impressive, Guts has survived fire, endured torture, getting his arm cut off by himself at the forearm, and getting his eyeball ripped out. Pretty fucking brutal. Not to mention that he healed and recovered from using the Berserk armor, which we will talk about later. Category number 3, combat speed. And like many characters we review, Guts can casually block and dodge projectiles and ranged attacks like arrows, fire blasts, thing of that nature. But we gotta keep in mind that Guts does rely on his durability a lot. Guts has shown the agility and speed to acrobatically leap, hurdle, and dodge over an entire herd of apostles. We've seen him do that for a consistent amount of time. Guts has shown on so many occasions that he's able to speed blitz countless foes before they can even react, and in some cases, even fire off an arrow. He also displays his speed, able to go toe-to-toe with beings like Zod, and, the list goes on with all the apostle-like beings. Moving on to category number 4, battle IQ, Guts' battle intelligence. Guts is the top tier swordsman, hence his ability to body a herd of 100 soldiers practically all by himself. Guts is able to use his wit to bait opponents into a vulnerable position, and he also tends to use stealth when the situation calls for it. But when it comes to efficiency, Guts uses his weapons to his best ability, shown using his arm cannon to propel himself for a quicker, stronger attack with his sword. Guts' elite skills have allowed him to defeat hundreds, if not thousands, of foes between humans and the supernatural, and this has led him to be a very sought-after swordsman and soldier mercenary. Now it's time to get into category number 5, powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. Probably the most detailed category for the struggler. Going over gear first, we reviewed some of it before, but Guts' huge sword, the dragonslayer, which weighs anywhere between 400 to 800 pounds or so, can cut through steel, stone, supernatural beings, apostles, creatures, and more. Guts has his arm cannon, equipped with a magnetic hand to grip his sword, which can actually deliver even heavier blows with a punch, and it also comes with a crossbow attachment. The arm cannon can only be fired once before Guts has to reload, so it's often used as a surprise attack or a last-ditch effort. The crossbow also has about 12 shots, which is fired by a hand crank. Now, as far as powers or abilities go, Guts is called the struggler for a reason. Guts' willpower is a superpower itself, which pushes him through shit like cutting off his own fucking arm, withstanding mental attacks, and nightly trauma and attacks by demons and apostles. The list really goes on for the amount of shit that this dude has to go through and has gotten through. The final bit of gear I want to mention is the famous Berserk armor, which is actually... Guts won't have that in this battle, and you'll find out why I did that later. So forgive me. The Berserk armor is incredibly durable to all attacks. The armor amps all negative traits of its user, mostly aggression, savagery, losing all control, while the armor slowly kills you, basically. The user no longer cares about pain, and the armor temporarily keeps the user alive before the wounds kill or greatly harm the user post-battle. The armor is a double-edged sword, and truly, I struggled to say many positive things about it aside from it's fucking badass and allows peak human performance in the pocket of the battle. Now, why won't Guts use the Berserk armor in this battle? Like I said, you'll find out when the video ends. Stay cool, stay patient. That is going to do it for our Guts breakdown, which means up next is the King, Ash Williams. So, starting with category number 1, of course, we're back to strength. Ash Williams is much like Guts, quote-unquote, just a human. But the thing about Ash is that he's the chosen one, which apparently comes with greater physical attributes, although maintaining a below-average physique. Ash has the ability to overpower several Deadites at once. Deadites easily one-shot humans regularly, and Deadites are basically the zombie demons of this universe. Ash, with the help of his metal hand, had the strength to single-handedly catch Jason's machete, which he threw straight through a windshield. Jason Voorhees is no joke in the strength department. Ash even resisted a vortex of the Necronomicon's portal, which was strong enough to pull in a car. We'll talk more about the Necronomicon and its powers later. We're going to move on to category number 2, attack power and durability. Between his boomstick, his chainsaw, and his metal hand, Ash is capable of one-shotting foes, whether they're human, deadite, or other types of demons summoned by the Necronomicon. Ash battled Elagos, a teleporting demon, and was able to not only endure the mental and physical attacks of Elagos for an extended period of time, but then one-shotting him with the boomstick. As far as hand-to-hand goes, Ash crossed over with the Marvel Universe, taking a shot from Daredevil, even knocking Spider-Man on his ass, as well as trading blows with some Doom bots. Ash also scrapped with Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, as I stated before, and other horror icons, proving his ability to do great damage to supernatural beings with his hands alone. On top of that, Ash was able to resist and come back from becoming a Deadite, showing off his mental attack resistance. Now, moving on to category number 3, combat speed. Many may underestimate the speed that Ash possesses. On the regular, Ash bodies numerous Deadites in a split second. Deadites can blitz and one-shot people effortlessly. When it comes down to throwing hands, though, Ash was quick enough to drop Spider-Man with the punch. As I mentioned before, Ash casually kept up the speed with Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and more supernatural beings. that regularly speed blitz their targets without even time to react in the slightest. Ash has dodged many ranged attacks, even reacting to a Dr. Doom Doombot blast, so yes, the Chosen One has some deceptive, underestimated combat speed. Moving on to category number 4, Battle IQ, intelligence and intellect in the heat of battle. Ash Williams is definitely not particularly known for his battle IQ or his combat skills. As far as Ash said before, shoot first, think never. Ash is actually an underrated marksman, able to land kill shots on deadites, doing trick shots, and even no look behind the back shots. So, yeah, I don't know if that's some luck hacks or what's going on here, but man's a marksman. When it comes down to hand, Ash has proved himself time after time. As I said before, he tricked and dropped Spider-Man with a punch, able to deceive the Punisher, take on all sorts of supernatural beings in hand-to-hand combat, like I said before, mentioning Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees. When it comes down to it, Ash loves his chainsaw, though. He's proved his swordsmanship, or sawsmanship, between killing deadites, the deadite skeletons, going sword to sword or chainsaw to sword with other horror franchise characters, the Marvel Universe, and more. When portaled back to medieval times, Ash even trained the King's Army himself to beat the medieval dead. He trained an entire army. On top of all that, Ash's ingenuity and his engineering skills are surprisingly top-notch, as he created his own metal hand, he created his chainsaw attachment for his hand, the gunpowder and the bullets back in the medieval days, even able to get his car working in the medieval times. So Ash is a character that's just full of surprises. Now getting into our 5th and final category, once again we're back to powers, hacks, abilities, and gear. First is Ash's metal hand, which has been remade a few different ways, but always has the main concept. Like the mechanical hand, Ash's chainsaw also attaches to his nub and one-shots deadites on the daily. Constantly slashing deadites is his favorite thing. The downside, though, is that the chainsaw does require gas. In some stories it doesn't, but in some stories it does. Unlike the chainsaw, Ash's boomstick, the double-barreled shotgun, seemingly never runs out of ammo, stated by Ash himself in a comic. Ash is well versed in his gear, able to rapidly switch between the saw and the boomstick. Ash has even used his leather belt like Indiana Jones a few times. As far as powers and hacks go, Ash Williams is the Chosen One, the Jefe. Now, it's prophesized in the Necronomicon that Ash will defeat evil and cannot be killed by evil, hence all his crazy plot armor moments and meta miracle that somehow keep him in the game. Some real fate manip right there. Some real fate hacks right there. Speaking of the Necronomicon, this is a piece of gear that Ash won't have in this battle, much like the Berserk armor for Guts. The Necronomicon is also called the Book of the Dead, which was written in blood, bound in human flesh, and made by the Dark Ones themselves. The Book of the Dead can do all sorts of supernatural things, like summon demons, BFR opponents, create a vortex to different dimensions, and way more crazy shit which is oftentimes unpredictable. That is going to be addressed later in the video as well. Now, that is going to be it for our character breakdown section of the video. So let's see who wins the 5 categories, and then we can finally get to who wins the battle itself. So starting at the top with category number 1, strength. Throughout his entire life, he's proved himself on a more consistent basis, although not against such a wide array of foes, but I am going to give this to Guts. Category number 2, attack power and durability. Both endured cutting off their own hand, both have taken shots and delivered shots against powerful foes, and although Guts has endured more torture, I'd argue that Ash's AP feats against Marvel characters and the horror icons, I'm going to give this category a tie. Category number 3, combat speed. Due to his consistent show of agility and speed blitzing, I'm going to give Guts the speed. Category number 4, battle IQ. Although Ash's intellect is underrated, surprisingly, Guts' ability to conduct plans and tricks on the fly and his knowledge and his strategic use of his gear, I'm going to give Guts the W. The final category, powers, hacks, and abilities and gear. Both combatants are rocking some impressive drip. Both possess willpower unimaginable, and both are fighters against destiny. However, both have their drawbacks as well, so I'm going to give this category a tie. So how exactly do I think this battle would go down? Let's give it a check. So how is this battle going to play out? The scene opens when Ash is sucked through a necronomicon vortex, and Ash once again finds himself in a medieval realm, where he discovers Guts slaying an apostle. Ash cracks some one-liners, probably coming off as a dick, so eventually the two bump heads and they square up. Guts, expecting this to be an easy one-hitter quitter, runs up on Ash with a powerful swing, but Ash manages to roll out of the way just in time. Ash realizes how fast Guts moves, and just out of reach he dodges another attack. Guts prepares to charge for another attack, but Ash brandishes his boomstick, firing off 2 shots. However, both shots bounce off the dragonslayer. Guts takes another swing, slashing the tip of the boomstick's barrel. Ash revs up the chainsaw, and the two clash in an unreal loner-on-loner face-off. Guts analyzes Ash's gear and realizes the chainsaw's gas tank, but this allows Ash to land a solid punch that stumbles Guts. Ash takes another 2 shots with his now sawed-off shotgun. Only 1 shot hits Guts in the shoulder, which hurts a hell of a lot, but it's nothing that the struggler can't handle. Ash smirks with confidence, but Guts is quick to slash the chainsaw's gas tank, then once again chop away at the boomstick. Realizing he's now in some real deep shit with a stronger, faster, smarter opponent, Ash reaches for the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. But as he reaches for his belt, the Black Swordsman blasts his arm cannon, as he saved it for a last-ditch effort. Ash takes the shot, therefore being defeated by not evil, but Guts, the struggler. However, suddenly a vortex in the sky opens up. This is not the eclipse. The mighty Kandar the Destroyer tower over Guts, and Deadites fall from the sky. Guts dons the Berserk armor now, and picks up the Necronomicon, preparing for a new battle. That is right, gang. I think Guts does take this fight, most likely mid-difficulty at most, which actually makes me a little sad because Ash is one of my favorite characters ever. The thing I think that puts Guts over Ash here is, like I said before, he's faster, stronger, smarter. I think he's more durable, and I do think his gear probably scales just a tad higher than Ash's. But comment down below who you think should have won, why they should have won. You know, doing these videos, it's just in the nature of the beast to disagree, man. I welcome disagreements. So, hell yeah, the next video will be episode 4, the last episode of season 2 of our Versus Battle series. Check out my channel's playlist to find season 1. Find me on TikTok by the same name, FridayRandomMedia. And remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you. Have a great day. Peace out.